people of the world, Matthias Griffin back with you, and this is a video that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. I've been putting this off for so long, and with the 10th anniversary of Final Fantasy XIV now here, I thought it made sense to want to try and do something to pay homage to the game. And the first video that I want to do for that is to create a video inspired by my favorite job. In other words, the first thing that I mained at when I started playing this game, which was Dragoon. Now I know that for a lot of the old school players of this game, there's a lot of jokes that are made about Dragoon. In fact, I still get people to this very day making jokes about the Dragoon. How it used to be a glass cannon, how it was a warrior class that died more than any other, which I myself have had quite my fair share of deaths as Dragoon over the years. I mean, playing this game for 6 years, that sort of thing's to be expected. But I know that a lot of you are probably wondering, why would I make this video, and why would I talk about why I play Dragoon? Well, I can definitely say that one of the inspirations for this particular video came from a channel that I've worked with previously. If you've been following my channel extensively over time, you'll know that my character, my original character, and this channel's namesake Matthias, was featured in a series of videos about Heavensward done by the French YouTube channel Alliance 14. He was featured in a various series of montages that introduced the various dungeons for the main story of Heavensward, and so it was really cool that I was able to collab with him and that Matthias was getting featured for this particular channel. So recently I started seeing them doing various videos on why various people who are part of that channel play the various jobs that they do. Now, given that this is a French channel that I collabed with, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who would not be able to understand what they were saying unless they had Google Translate and they were able to adapt to using it on YouTube. Nonetheless, I thought it was a great idea that they were doing something like this, and I actually had thought about doing this before they started doing it themselves. I just never had the time, or I was just focused on doing other things in game. It's really been something that I've been putting off for such a long time, but it's high time that I finally got it out of my system and explained to all of you why Dragoon has been my main now since I started playing this game 6 years ago. Now, you have to understand that the origins of my interest in maining as a Dragoon actually did not start out with me wanting to main as a Dragoon. When I first started playing this game 6 years ago, it was at a time when I was just trying to figure out what I was going to play, and when I saw the various options for the various starter jobs that you were given in this game, the one that really got my attention above all else was Lancer. And the reason why that was so important was because of the fact that growing up, I went to a high school where we had the Lancers as the team name of our high school sports teams. And that was at Elmira District Secondary School in Ontario, Canada. And I know a lot of you are probably wondering, you guys call high schools secondary schools in Canada? And the answer is yes, but there are also a number of various other alternative titles that are used for the names of high schools here in Canada, so secondary schools don't sound all that strange around here. Nonetheless, I wanted to really pay homage to my high school, and playing as a Lancer was how I decided to do just that. It inspired me to even begin doing Final Fantasy XIV as a YouTube Let's Play in the first place. When I first started playing Final Fantasy XIV for YouTube, it was only with the intention to just play the game for 75 days. And if you're wondering why 75 days, it's because of the fact that at the time that I started recording, my high school was just a few months away from celebrating the 75th anniversary of its founding. And so I thought, what better way to make a unique and clever tribute than to play a 75-day long Let's Play of Final Fantasy XIV as a Lancer. Even though I had the opportunity to upgrade myself to Dragoon, I never took it right away because of the fact that I wanted to play Lancer for the entire duration of the 75 days. what also helped to reinforce that Lancer was the correct choice for me to play was the fact that over the duration of the 75 days, I had heard about the multiple instances of the original title given to the lead hero in the very first Final Fantasy, the Warrior of Light, mentioned, and that really resonated with me too in regards to my high school. And that is because of the fact that our school's motto is actually one that actually could be considered a interesting connection. My high school's motto is Ab Oscuritate ad Lucem, which literally translates in Latin as being from darkness to light. But I guess under Shadowbringers' current situations, you would want to do it the other way around. In any event, the fact that you get to hear about the Warrior of Light, and then this title is eventually bestowed upon you, is something that really resonated with me and really reiterated the fact that I made the right choice with playing the role of the Lancer, because it not only helped me to connect with my high school in that way, but in another way as well. So with all those wonderful correlations and connections, I was really able to appreciate how important the Lancer was going to be for this game. But once I got that all finished, I came to the realization that it wasn't enough to just play for the 35 days, because I had gotten so far in the original main story, and I decided I wanted to keep on going. So with that in mind, I then moved on eventually to playing as a Dragoon, which, if you remember to back in the day before Stormblood came out, you couldn't become a Dragoon right away from being a Lancer, or a White Mage from being a Conjurer, or a Bard from being an Archer, and so on. It's because back in the day you had to be required to play an alternate class up to level 15, which was determined beforehand before you could actually play the enhanced warrior class that you wanted to with your original main. And so, once that was all taken care of, then I moved on to playing as a Dragoon. And when I did, I was just so mesmerized by everything surrounding the Dragoon. With the first impression of what you get to look like when you actually play the role, and what you get when you get the version 2 armor, which really has been something that I've appreciated so much. It's just been absolutely amazing to see what the Dragoon looks like, and how much it's resonated with the people who either main it or have it as one of their primary alternate classes, because you get to see so many people who have chosen to retain the original armor or the 2.0 armor as well as their preferred glamour for their Dragoon, and it's easy to see why. Because it's so dynamic and it's so impressive looking, it really does stand out against all the other armors that belong to the other warrior classes. Especially the ones that are for the original starter classes. When you get to move up to your next version, the other ones in comparison are just... They just don't compare to Dragoon. You can take a look at any of the other suits of armor worn by any of the other starter jobs, and you can see that they put so much detail into the Dragoon armor. It's absolutely incredible what they did with this thing. And what really helped me to have a further cementing of the validation that I made the right choice to ultimately play as a Dragoon was the fact that the version 2 armor, the blue armor, is adorned all over with these blue lights, which really helped me to gain a greater connection to Hydaelyn, who is of course the primary deity of this game, and knowing that, it really helped me to gain an even greater appreciation for Dragoon, and it helped me to get an even more greater respect for the designs that were made for Final Fantasy XIV's Dragoon. Now I know that there have been people who have told me that that's not necessarily how the intention was for the design, but for me that always felt like a way I could be able to continue to have a strong connection with Hydaelyn in-game. Even though these days we know that there are a lot of people who are saying that oh, we don't want to be associated with Hydaelyn anymore, we want to be associated with Zodiac, we want to sympathize with the Ascians, which I'll cover in another video, believe me. But the fact that we get to play a warrior class with an armor that has so much detail, looks so dynamic, and that so many people want to feature it as their primary glamour when playing as Dragoon, and that all the other warrior classes pale in comparison, really speaks volumes about how much they really wanted Dragoon to stand out in Final Fantasy XIV. And then of course there's the fact that over the duration of Heavensward, Dragoon plays an even greater significance, primarily thanks to the presence of Estinien and the fact that you get to help him out so much with his responsibilities and that he in turn helps you, really creates an even greater bond that you really don't see much of in terms of the other expansions. You really don't get to associate with an NPC who is associated with the various job classes like you do with Estinien. In fact, as far as the main story is concerned, and this isn't even close, Estinien is hands down the most significant NPC associated with job quests that helps you out in the main story. And the only others who even will help you out during the course of the main story, and this is also in Heavensward, are the siblings of the Elder Seed Seer, Raya-O and Arun Senna, who accompany you during your White Mage quests. The fact that they would make a Dragoon one of the most significantly important NPCs over the entire Final Fantasy XIV canon really has helped me to gain an even greater sense of satisfaction in playing this game, because not only has Estinien's exploits been significant within Heavensward, but of course he also has helped you out in Stormblood, he helps you out in Shadowbringers, and who knows what else we're going to see from him. And I know from personal experience that there are a lot of people who main as Dragoon that not only appreciate the design of the armor that they get to wear, but also they have a great affinity for Estinien too. And it just goes to show you how much of a presence he's really had in this game. He may not be as significant as the Signs of the Seventh Dawn are, but there's no question that his presence has played a very important role within the Final Fantasy XIV canon, and I really can't wait to see what he's going to be doing next. And if you ever get the opportunity, if you have not yet done this, if you either skipped through this or you just were not paying attention, I would strongly encourage you to go and check out the level 45 cutscene for the Dragoon job quest. It remains to this day my all-time favorite Final Fantasy XIV cutscene. The fact that you go to meet up with Estinien when he tells us that we've got a dire situation with Needhogg possibly having a presence, and that he tells you, these are the stakes, this is what you need to do. And it really is emphasized in the Dragoon warrior class quest far more than any other. You really get to see it because it's not really apparent in any other job quest cutscene when you're obtaining the armor pieces that you need to complete your respective job quest. It only really happens in Dragoon that you get to see something of this significance in this kind of ambiance, in this setting, and it's just absolutely the best cutscene for me in Final Fantasy XIV, and I highly doubt that'll ever change. It still resonates with me to this very day, and it's the one thing I tell people who are new to Dragoon. If you're going to play Dragoon, make sure you watch that cutscene. You will not be disappointed. For me, Dragoon has come such a long way from being one of the most looked down classes in this game to now being one of the most loved. And certainly, if the people who play it have so much appreciation for the look, for the fighting style, for the characters that are associated with it, and it correlates and adds more to the depth of the game, it really shows just how much people have an appreciation for it, and I can't wait to see how much more we'll get to see out of the Dragoon in the future, and especially as well from Estinien. We can't wait to see what other exploits he will be showing off, and seeing how he'll be coming to save the day for us. So now that I've finally had the chance to speak my piece on the Dragoon and why I choose to play as one, I hope that you guys who are watching have played Dragoon as well, and that you have the appreciation that I'd have for it too. So I'm hoping to have the opportunity to do some more of these various job class videos over the course of the remainder of the year, and if you do want to see more of these, please let me know what you'd like to see me talk about next. I would really appreciate your feedback, and if you do want to see more of these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. It's always a great idea, and feel free to let me know what you'd like me to cover in my next video. It's always encouraged, greatly appreciated, and your support is always welcome. So thank you very much everyone for watching. I hope that you'll enjoy the videos that I'll be putting out in the future. And so, until next time everyone, may you ever walk in the light of the crystal.